The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me. When they find you, and they will, they'll make things difficult.
Death can have me when it earns me.
God of War over the course of 2025 has been subject to many rumors, unreliable leaks, and has remained in the news in some fashion ever since its last release, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla in 2023. I've stayed away from the series that I love to give it time to breathe, but once again, it's in the news in a really big way. This isn't a rumor from some account on Twitter, Reddit, or 4chan, but from the Game Awards host, Jeff Keighley. He planted a mysterious statue that is supposed to be hinting at a reveal during the Game Awards. Fans started to speculate it might be God of War related because of a few factors. First off, the location of this thing is in a desert. God of War 2018 and Ragnarok had several hints in the game pointing to Egypt being the next location, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, let's focus on the statue. Fans have noticed what looks like Kratos' armor set inside of the statue. A bear that could be representing Atreus because he transformed into a bear several times during Ragnarok's gameplay. There's also a crocodile looking enemy which God of War Ragnarok had. However, the biggest clue, all around this statue you can see scales of a world serpent, even the snake's head. This could be Yarmangander because we all know he survives during God of War Ragnarok. Also in the news, Luke Stevens, another famous YouTuber, did a live stream where Cory Barlog himself said it was not GOW related, God of War. However, Cory to the community is an unreliable narrator and fans simply don't believe him due to his hilarious trolling in the past, which some speculate the GOY he's talking about is actually Gears of War. I'll talk about Cory Barlog's statement when I give my opinion in the later parts of this video, but let's continue talking about Egypt being in God of War. God of War itself has talked about Egypt many times, going as far back as God of War Ascension in 2013. You can find a note where Egyptian mythology is called Land of the Pharaohs, which was called that again during the Fallen God comic book series where Kratos briefly traveled through the realm where a figure once again called it Land of the Pharaohs. In God of War 2018, we have the conversation in Tyr's treasure room where Mimir says there are many gods in Egypt and hints that not all of them are good. We can even see an Egyptian Ankh. In Ragnarok, you search for an Egyptian artifact and you get a note with a little description once again hinting that the realm isn't all good. In Ragnarok Valhalla, Tyr used Egyptian weapons as well. Now there's much more, but I don't want to be sitting here all day boring you with this, but just know that Egypt has been mentioned in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok several times. Also, in case you didn't know, God of War 2018 was so close to being set in Egypt. During the early development cycle, the team argued which direction the franchise should take, Norse or Egypt. Ultimately, it was Cory Barlog's decision in the end, choosing Norse mythology. Santa Monica also released a small cutscene of this time period. Check it out for yourself.
Initially, it wasn't even going to be his kid. Like, I think the first pitch I gave was that we wouldn't even know what was happening. So it was like Kratos walking through the desert, because we were, in my mind, still doing Egypt initially. Wind, sand blowing all over the place as he's kind of crawling through. And then kind of stands up and crests over a dune and checks out this really fantastic, like, this ancient city. And then he kind of turns around and then says, "All right, follow me." And then we kind of reveal that there's a kid there.
We have a long journey ahead.
So what do I think? Do I think this statue is hinting at something God of War related? First off, no one wants a new God of War tease more than me. I've been talking about God of War for almost 10 years straight now, so of course I would want a new tease. But there are some things that really do make me believe that this is God of War related. First off, the location of the statue and the world serpent clearly on the statue really make me want to say yes. But the problem is God of War Ragnarok Valhalla came out only 2 years ago. If Santa Monica wants to start teasing a God of War now, it means that they would have to be in full production. But the game won't release in quite some time because this is obviously still very early in development. And there's only been 2 years and these games take a very long time to make, especially when they enter a brand new setting. And I think right now it would be way too early. But again, the world serpent on a statue in the desert, it really does match God of War, and that's why I'm really conflicted. It only makes sense for it to be God of War because the world serpent is more connected to Norse mythology than anything else, and Norse mythology is Kratos' new home, now being the God of War of the realm. The serpent is also there, and I mentioned before that Egypt was mentioned a lot in the Norse games. So the one thing that really connects, Egypt and the world serpent is Kratos and the fact that Egyptian mythology is in the world of God of War. It really just makes sense, but I'm not discounting other games, right? It could easily be a new Doom game connected to a new Diablo, Elder Scrolls, or even a From Software title. I thought of this as well, but Jason Schreier, a game journalist who is well known within the community, he's not a leaker, he's an actual verified news journalist, he said that it's not tied to Diablo and it's not tied to Elder Scrolls, so what else could it be? Now I do want to talk about Cory Barlog's statement. He said that it's not GOW related. To be honest, yes, I understand what the community is saying. He's trolled a lot in the past, however, the guy no longer has Twitter. It sucks, we all wish he was back on Twitter, but he doesn't engage in the community like he used to all those years ago. So I'm tempted to believe him when he says that it's not God of War related. But to play devil's advocate, why would he say this on a live stream, but Santa Monica's official accounts on social media haven't said anything about this? I hope within the next few days Santa Monica officially addresses this, saying that no, it's not God of War related, because they have to be aware of the rampant speculation online. Now, there are also a bunch of demons on the statue, but let's be real, demons are kind of like the trash mobs of the gaming industry, right? Even in God of War games in the past had similar designs like this. There's also, of course, the big red light that comes out from the middle of the statue, and it doesn't really hint at anything at all. So, of course, you're listening to me ramble. I'm so conflicted over this. I really want to say that it's too early for a new God of War. I want to believe Cory Barlog when he says it's not God of War related. But again, the serpent scales being on this thing and the fucking statue itself being in the middle of a desert, it has me stuck like in this constant loop, right? Like, it's not God of War, it is God of War, it's not God of War, it is God of War. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What's your opinion? There's my opinion, there's the news. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys and girls for listening. Deuces. Man, I have not said that outro in fucking years. It's really nostalgic, man. Later, everybody.